All right, let's talk about why you shouldn't fear death. Not in some distant, mystical, or purely spiritual sense, but in a very practical, grounded, and even economic way. You see, everything that we as human beings do on this planet, every single trade, transaction, and agreement, it all boils down to one thing: the preservation of life. Think about it. You go to work every day, earn money, buy food, pay bills, and save the future. But what are you really buying? You're buying time. You're buying another day, another month, another year of survival. Of food keeps your body alive. Shelter protects you from nature. Medical care extends your lifespan. Every currency note, every digital transaction, every insurance policy, it's all just an exchange of life. At its core, the human economy is an economy of fear, the fear of death. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. The more you fear death, the easier it is to control you. When someone says, "I'll do anything to survive," they've already surrendered the essence of freedom. Because what does it mean to live at any cost? It means to live as a slave to those who are willing to use your fear against you. If you're terrified of losing your job, someone can control you with a paycheck. If you're terrified of starvation, someone can manipulate you with food. If you're terrified of dying, someone can enslave you with the illusion of protection. The irony is that death, the one thing we all share, becomes the greatest weapon ever used to divide and dominate us. History proves this over and over. The most powerful people in the world, the dictators, the billionaires, the conquerors, are not gods. They simply fear death less than you do. They are willing to risk more, to cross moral lines, to go further than the average person who trembles at the idea of dying. But the truly free people, the ones who changed the course of humanity, were not those who avoided death, but those who looked it straight in the eye and didn't flinch. When a person becomes unafraid of dying, you cannot enslave them, you cannot buy them, and you cannot break them. That's why, throughout history, some populations were never enslaved, because they were willing to die rather than live as property. To control someone who does not fear death is unprofitable. It's impossible. This is the paradox of life. The less you cling to it, the more fully you can live it. The moment you accept death as a natural part of existence, something profound happens. You stop wasting your energy on survival and start using it to experience life. You stop being cautious, and you start being courageous. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if I fly?" When the fear of death disappears, creativity flourishes. Freedom becomes real. You no longer seek meaning in comfort, but in purpose. You no longer crave control, because you finally understand that the most liberating truth in the universe is this: nothing lasts forever, and that's okay. Now, this doesn't mean you should be reckless or self-destructive. It means you should stop bargaining with life as if it owes you eternity. You don't have to live forever. You just have to live fully, right now. When you stop fearing death, you stop overvaluing safety. You stop saying yes to things that kill your spirit just to keep your body alive. The world tells you to save every life, as if that's the ultimate moral good. But not all life is equal in quality. What good is a long life lived in fear compared to a short one lived in truth and purpose? The problem is that we've built societies that worship longevity over meaning. We admire survival more than bravery. We've replaced the pursuit of greatness with the obsession of staying alive. And that, my friends, is the real death, dying before you've even lived. If you think about it, death has always been the final equalizer. No matter how rich, how powerful, or how protected someone is, death levels them with the poorest soul on the street. Billionaires, soldiers, beggars, all share the same fate. The difference is, the billionaire spends his entire life running from it, while the wise person walks calmly toward it. The fear of death makes us hoard money, chase status, and cling to illusions of permanence. But if you knew you couldn't lose anything, not your wealth, not your reputation, not your life, imagine how differently you'd live. You'd speak truth without hesitation. You'd love without restraint. You'd create without fear of judgment. That's what it truly means to live beyond death. And it goes deeper. The fear of death doesn't just limit your life, but it multiplies across generations. It's not only your own death you're afraid of, but also the death of your loved ones, your children, your family. That fear gets weaponized. It keeps you working endless hours, paying endless taxes, and obeying systems that thrive on your submission. The world tells you, protect your family at any cost. But that phrase hides a sinister truth. When you live in constant fear of losing them, you never actually live with them. Fear robs you of the very moments you're trying to protect. Even in nature, death isn't a tragedy, it's balance. Every animal that dies feeds another life. Every fallen tree becomes soil for the next generation. The circle of life depends on the end of life. But humans, in their arrogance, try to cheat this cycle. We build machines to delay death, medicines to deny it, religions to soften it, and distractions to ignore it. But deep down we all know, death is not an interruption, it's a continuation, it's the completion of life's pattern. The stars we look up to at night are the corpses of once living suns, and yet they light our skies beautifully. So why should your death be any less meaningful? And before we go on, if you've been watching and this is making you think, take a second to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because somewhere out there, someone is trapped by their own fear. And this simple understanding could free them. Alright, let's return. The only way to truly conquer death is not to defeat it, that's impossible, but to befriend it, to walk beside it, to accept that it's the price of admission for this beautiful, chaotic, fleeting experience we call life. Once you do that, you stop fighting existence and start flowing with it. You stop demanding permanence and start appreciating impermanence. Every sunrise becomes a miracle, not because it lasts, but because it ends. Every breath becomes sacred, not because it's infinite, but because it's temporary. So stop fearing death. Stop fearing loss. Stop fearing the moment when this story ends, because that fear is the oldest form of control. And the day you stop letting it rule you, that's the day you truly begin to live. Remember, the ultimate currency isn't money or power or fame. It's your freedom from fear. That's the only wealth that cannot be taken away and the only one worth dying for. So chill out. Don't take life too seriously. You came from the same universe that gives and takes everything. And one day you'll return to it. Not as a failure, but as a completed story. Don't run from it. Embrace it. Because only when you stop fearing death will you finally start living. And that's it for today. I'm Mr. K, and if this message resonated with you, hit that like button, drop a comment, sharing your thoughts, and share this with someone who's still fighting their fear. Remember, freedom begins where fear ends. See you in the next one.